Venture capital is a form of private or distinctive investment and financing that investors provide to startup companies and small businesses, assuming that it will have long-term growth. Venture capital also applies to a powerful country's investments in developing countries. For example, China, an emerging superpower country, launched in 2013 its flagship project and the core of its foreign policy, the Belt and Road Initiative. Referred to as the New Silk Road, China's Belt and Road Initiative is the vast collection of infrastructure project development and investments that would extend across the world and mainly in developing countries. The Belt and Road Initiative aims to achieve overland Silk Road economic belt and maritime Silk Road that will serve as trade routes of China to the world. Since the incorporation of the Belt and Road Initiative in the Chinese Communist Party's constitution, 133 out of 140 countries have signed the Memorandum of Understanding with China to be part of the Belt and Road Initiative. 40 of these signatories are from the sub-Saharan African countries, and 17 from the Middle East and North African countries. Out of the 54 countries of Africa, Swaziland is the only country left that has not signed a memorandum nor expressed its support with China's Belt and Road Initiative. China has spent a massive amount on the construction of infrastructure across the continent of Africa. However, these investments are not free but loans with high interests and possible collateral damages. The question that most critics and researchers ask about Africa's loans to China is whether African countries can pay their debts. With debts of more than 150 billion and the occurrence of the COVID-19 pandemic, African governments now have limited abilities and capabilities to repay their debts to China. Over the past decade, China and its African partners advanced their political, economic, and military-related interests to one another. However, China's investments in Africa are driven by its interests to access Africa's natural resources like oil and gas and gold. They also see Africa as an untapped market for their Chinese exports and seeks to ensure the safety of China's investments and the continuation of its commercial activities across the continent. On the other hand, most African countries allow China to invest and build infrastructure projects within their continent to satisfy their interests in their partnership with China. African governments want China to provide them with political recognition and legitimacy and contribute to their economic advancement through aid and capital investment, as well as infrastructure expansion and trade. In this research study, it intends to examine the possible repercussions and pitfalls of China's massive and inscrutable venture capital in Africa. Furthermore, this study desires to analyze and scrutinize the lending patterns of China in Africa and how these loans may lead to a debt trap. To read the full text of this research paper and to learn more about China's inscrutable venture capital in Africa, you can check the academia link of this paper down in the description box below. So before this video ends, I just want to thank our professor, Sir Jumel. Yes, sir, another fruitful semester has come to an end. And all I can say, sir, is that I am grateful for this semester with you being our professor. Not only on one subject, but two. Your previous stint as our professor 2 semesters ago did not turn out so well. So having this chance to be your student again is a new way of our class to renew our relationship with you, sir. We admit that we learned a lot from you from the beginning and still learning more from you until this very end. Sorry for the noise. I just want to apologize as well, sir, for the bitter past that our class had. We might not understand you and your ways before, but now we realized all the things you did for our good. It did serve to me as well as a motivation to push further and to improve my God-given gifts. And all of the inspirational words and lessons you taught us for 2 separate semesters will definitely mark in our hearts and in our minds. Thank you, sir, for allowing us to grow at our own pace and giving us opportunities to be engaged not only in local events but also in international events. Lastly, sir, I want to wish you a marvelous journey. We know how dedicated you are to serving not only our country but the Filipino people at large as well as the Lord. We do hope and pray that may God guide you and protect you in everything that you do. We thank you, sir, for all the sleepless nights you had only to meet us in our class early in the next morning despite your overtime work the day before our class. Sir, we appreciate all the things you've done, and we thank you for opening our eyes and sharing the gospel of God. We will also never forget how we find ourselves crying after finishing a 2-hour 20 episodes of Reply 1988. 20 episodes, yes. And with this, sir, you allowed us and gave us time to relax, take care of our mental health, and reminisce the good old days of our youth. So before I end this video, sir, since for the past classes that we had, you often sing us a song. So let me sing you a song, sir, as well. Okay.
친구에게서 전화가 왔네. 내일은 yon 멀리 또 나간다고. 어릴 적 함께 뛰놀던 골목길에서 만나자 하네. 내일은 yon 아주 멀리 간다고. 돌컹거리는 전철을 타고 찾아가는